I wanted to do a quick little video covering something that I've been watching unfold over the past couple of days, which is her uncertainty around strangers off in the distance and as they approach her. So, hi. I noticed it earlier this week when we started going out on field trips, that she was kind of hesitating when she saw somebody, or kind of doing a lot of displacement behavior where she would suddenly be preoccupied, sniffing on the ground, not wanting to make eye contact, just kind of looking over her shoulder, which is a really, really subtle cue that dogs give when they want space from something that most of the time goes unnoticed because it really looks like, oh, this dog doesn't care about people and dogs and things like that. But for her, that's her saying, like, no, I don't really want an interaction, so I'm going to act busy elsewhere so that maybe they leave me alone. So I've been making it a point to kind of, when I see her do that, I will literally just put myself between her and the trigger. So like if we're walking and she's right here and the person is coming on this way, I'll just kind of guide her over to the other side so that I'm blocking her from that person or that potential trigger, just to give her a little bit of confidence of like, hey, I have your back. You can just move out of the way. You don't have to have an interaction if you don't want to. We just went on another field trip out to a big field, and it's a really nice day, so everyone's out walking their dogs, everyone's out with their kids running around, and I was seeing a lot of, when she would see something, she would bark at them a little bit, and that, again, like, I think that's her, maybe if sometimes those other subtle cues are being ignored, so now she's barking to kind of be ahead of the game of, hey, don't come over here, I don't want an interaction. So what I do with her is, the moment she notices what could potentially be a trigger, I'm going to, yes, pay, run backwards, and let her chase the reinforcer out of the picture back under threshold. I want to create a positive association where she's like, oh, every time these things happen that I maybe initially feel a little bit of uncertainty about, I get rewarded and payment comes directly from the handler. I wanted to be she has to notice it for that to be a counter conditioning effect. To create a new response, she has to notice what the trigger is, and then the food has to happen immediately after. But really the big point that I want to make is when we do that, it's not when there's a reaction, it's when she notices it. The moment she's walking and goes from this to, I see something, I want to capture that moment and harness it. If I'm waiting for her to start to fixate on it and check out, and you're pulling on her leash and this is my hand pulling her backwards and she's just ignoring you, then we're kind of already getting into a zone of reactivity where then we have to say, no, we have to kind of guide her and let her know that that's not an option, which is fine, that's another puzzle piece, but if we can catch it at the moment, I want to create those good associations. So even though I'm rewarding her for not looking at me and looking at something else, I'm creating a different mindset. That's my bigger picture there is what I'm focusing on. And same thing, like for walking and she sees something, I'm going to, yes, pay her, and then kind of flip her and put her on the opposite side of me. So I'm going to be creative with how I portray that picture of her walking with me, creating a new mindset, telling her where I want to be. So I'm showing her that I'm advocating for her space. I'm not going to force her into social interactions to try and kind of desensitize her, which is what I see a lot of people do, especially when we have this breed. Like, this is a very, like, a friendly breed. Everyone loves golden retrievers, and the concept of socialization can be misconstrued as, oh, let's go meet and greet every single person and dog that we see so that they like them. And for her, because that's not her personality type, that could put a lot of pressure on her to where she's not feeling advocated for and then takes it upon herself to create space. So I want to show her, like, hey, we're going to exist around all of these triggers. You're going to get good stuff from me, and you don't have to worry about them. I am a firm believer that if we do enough of that type of socialization, neutrality, then it alleviates a lot of that social pressure onto her. So she's learning how to just exist around them. They're not a threat as she perceives. And because she's not perceiving them as a threat, she will find them less and less of a stressor. So my rule of thumb, if they matter for the future. Friends, family, close neighbors, and so on, like people that you're probably going to see pretty regularly and you want her to have a relationship with. Yes, we can go about the like, hey, like let's introduce you. The person can give her treats and help her like get comfortable. She's not a dramatically unconfident dog. I think it's just more of the uncertainty that she's like, I don't really know what to do with this. I haven't had any problem getting to know her, so I don't think that that's a huge issue. But if they don't matter for the future, they're just some random person. Like I had a couple of kids say, Miss, can we pet her? And I just said, no, thank you. I don't need that to be something that she has to cope with. I want her to trust that I have her back. And in order for her to trust that I have her back, historically that has to happen over and over again. So that's my advice. I just wanted to make a quick little video going over that because that is something that I've been noticing with her now that we're leaving the training room and going out to new environments. She is a little bit wary of strangers. She has a little bit of stranger danger. And she might grow out of it a little bit, but I think it really is going to be a big part of you having her back, advocating for her space, showing her I will make space for you, respecting her cues. If she's like trying to seem busy over here, not wanting to be a part of whatever, give her that space to move with her. Show her physically through body language that you're not going to force her into social interactions. All right. Good girl. All right.